This is the video review of the Unique Toys, something like DP01 or something. I don't remember what the serial number is, but it's the Unique Toys Provider figure, which is an unofficial toy of Octane, who is my favorite triple changer from G1, because he turns into this oil tanker truck to a kind of a commercial airliner, then to a really neat looking robot. And I really, really like how well they did this guy. Now, I'm going to have to go through this a little fast because, while his transformation is far from difficult, it takes a lot of time. And so I'm only going to cover each mode just a little bit. So here's the truck mode. It does lack a little bit of color. I wish there might have been, like, I don't know, just something to separate the color of the, to make this, the oil tank back here look a little bit different from the cab. But considering that this has to form the back of the jet, I get why they did it the way they did. But otherwise, it's a very nice looking truck. It either needs to be a little bit shorter or to have a gap here so it looks like there's a hinge between the tractor and the trailer here. If it's a little bit shorter, there are some trucks that look like this where it's a cab with just one small tank on the back. And so he kind of looks a little bit like both, but not enough to really make it work if you're paying attention to that. If you're not paying attention, it's just like, woohoo, I got a truck with an oil tank on the back. It works quite fine. I like it pretty well. It does roll pretty decently. The problem is the wheels back here, the holes in them are not perfect, so when they got riveted on, they oscillate back and forth. You can see a little bit, and sometimes it causes the rubber to rub somewhere. I'm not entirely sure where it is, but either way, it does stop him from rolling perfectly well. But he does roll decently if you just move him back and forth. But you can't just push him and expect him to fly away. But otherwise, it is a very nice truck, and yeah, let's get to the transformation. So to start this off, we'll pull off the gun here. Oh yeah, you can kind of turn the wheels a little bit. You do have to worry about the rubber here on the wheel rubbing into some of the stuff here, but it does kind of work. So to start this off, we'll pull off the gun. Then we will separate the tailgate back here. Or I suppose it's not a tailgate since he's not a truck, but you separate the back section there, which had the lights for the like turn signal and stuff. Then you'll pop this section right here down, which will form part of the aileron, and then you'll push it forward like that. Do the same thing to the other side. Pop it down, push it forward. And this will unlock the wings, so you can, or half the wings, so you can push them forward. And then you can push the engine section here, like this, to bring it all together. And then you'll rotate the engine so that they will kind of match up with the seam on the wing bits here. Keep these straight. And we'll just kind of leave them there for now, because we still need to worry about the back of the wing. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to pop this up, which will unlock, partially unlock the back wing section here. Then rotate this up, which will let you rotate this down, and then it will just kind of clip into place there. You'll rotate this back out, rotate this up, and do the same thing to the other side. Like that. Then we'll come to the top here, and we will fold this down, and we will rotate these out to the side, and then we will bend these down, which will allow us to separate the bottom half of the jet here, or of the wings here, like that. Now we'll come to the wings here, and we are going to marry these together. So there's a little slot right here and a tab right here, and then when these come up, there's some slots in here, here, and here, and some tabs on the underside here. Before we do this, we want to make sure that we rotate the wheel around so that this turns into the back of the far jet. So anyway, we will bring these together, tab them together. It takes a little bit of doing to line everything up, and then you'll squeeze it all together. And I love this wing transformation, how the wings, because they're really substantial wings, how they just come from the underside of the truck like that. It's really clever. So do the same thing to the other side, rotate this around, fold this flat, fold the wings together. tab everything together. It'll take a little bit of doing, but once you have it done, you have a really, really nice wingspan. They are a little bit odd because you do have the grill of the truck on the underside, but you won't notice that most of the time. Anyway, next we will fold this down, and it will tab into place here and here. It used to be tabbed into these holes, but now it will be tabbed into here, and that will, it's not, they're already kind of locked into place, but this will double lock them into place. Now we'll come to the front, and we will pull the nose of the jet out, like this. And then we will open up the nose, and then pull the nose out. We'll close it up, push the nose in, push this down, and then push the nose back in like that. And that's how you get the front of the jet. And I can't quite get this to marry all the way flush. There's just a little bit of resistance, but it's not too big of a deal. Then you can rotate down the landing gear here. You can rotate down the landing gear here as well. Turn around, because otherwise, the way casters work, they would turn around this way anyway. And now we'll work on the back, which is the weirdest part of the jet, because like all of the front of it looks amazing, but the back is where it gets a little bit weak. So to start this off, we're going to pull these panels out to the side. And then we will take these panels here and we will split them apart. Like that. And we'll just leave those there for now. We'll collapse everything back together later. And then we will pop these apart, turn them around, and then we will pop these sections down here like this. And then we'll take these little tail bits out, turn them around, and then we will tab these into the side here. And then here we have the back of the tail for one section, or the back of the jet for one section complete. We'll do the same thing to the other side. Rotate this around, rotate this down, pop this out, rotate it around, bring it down, tab it in, and then we will tab the back sections of the jet together. There is an alternate transformation that requires a bit more work. That makes it so that this section here fits flusher up to here, but I don't like doing it because it takes a lot of time to do. And I'm not just doing it saying I don't want to do it because I'm pressed for time to make sure I get this guy done. But the other thing is, it also makes it kind of hard to gain access to a lot of the parts for the transformation, like these panels right here. And I feel like chrome is rubbing up against chrome when I do it, because it makes these chrome sections here kind of bump into each other sometimes. So if you don't want to do it, and all you would do is you would start the leg transformation for the robot mode, fold the foot down, and then turn it back into the jet mode position, and that would fill it in back here. And you'll see what I mean when we get to the robot mode transformation. But anyway, to fill it in a little bit, you'll just fold these sections back here like that. Now to finish this off, we're going to take these sections here and pop them off to form the elevators. So pop them off, down and back. And here we have Octane in his beautiful jet mode. Like, I am surprised at how well this thing works. Because, like, except for the grill, here, the tires on the back of the engines, which I think is a very clever way to hide the tires. And then this section right here, you can't tell that it's supposed to be a truck at all. Now, the truck looked really good. You couldn't tell that it was supposed to be an airplane except for the little windows right here. And you could, Yeah, it was basically just the windows right here that made it look like it might turn to a jet. But this is a really, really nice airplane mode. But the only really big problem I have that's not like just an underside concession for the truck mode, which is like what this stuff is right here. So I think the tail is a little bit stubby. I wish they had maybe found a way to make it a little bit taller, a little bit narrower, but it works well enough. It does roll. And it doesn't fly. Don't go tossing it around. This is too expensive to do that. But it's just a very nice looking jet. And you can tab this in right here, the same place I went last time. Aim it forward. It goes bzz, 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 or I suppose it could be an antenna or something like that. But anyway, now we'll get on to transform this guy into his robot mode. So to do this, we're going to, I like to fold these things up like this. The wheels, just keep them out of the way, and then you fold this up. You can collapse this down. Then you'll rotate to these, and I'm just doing a little bit of cleanup right now so that this stuff won't get in the way later. Like these things right here do end up being back, but I like having them up here so they don't bump into my fingers or anything. Now that we've done a little bit of cleanup, we want to start by folding these out, and then folding these out. Then we will rotate the waist around like this. Then we will split the legs. And then we will fold the tail section back in, the reverse of the way that we folded it out here. Then we tab it into place, rotate it around and around, tab it into place. And since this part here already untabbed, I'll bring it down like this, and then you'll bring the leg out like this. And this is what I was talking about starting the leg transformation early and then aborting it. And then you'll take this section here, you'll rotate it around on this little section here, and this will give them a little bit of extra height in the toe. And the alternate jet transformation I was talking about would have this section pushed forward like that. But anyway, once you get that done, you'll rotate this back up and into place. You want to make sure you get this tab right here into that slot right there. It can be a little bit... it can take a little bit of effort to make sure everything aligns up. Rotate this down, and to keep this from popping up, I like to rotate this section up and tab it into the truck mode position. You don't have to do it, but I like to do it. And then you'll fold this out, fold out the chrome piece, which is really tight because it's the chrome makes the plastic a little bit thicker in the joint. Then you rotate it down, and then you rotate the leg around like this, and there's one leg done. So I'm going to do the same thing to the other side really quick. So pop this out, pop this out, pop this out, tab it into place, fold this down, bring this up, tab it into place, rotate this down, rotate this up, fold this down, put it in place and turn it around. And here we have his legs done. Fold the skirts down, and these are some really nice looking legs. They look very close to what they look like in the show, with some liberties because the show had a habit of going off model a lot. Like sometimes the show looked really, really good, like that's exactly what it looks like, and other times everything just looks so mushy, just depended on how much budget went into a scene. But anyway, there are the legs done. Now we're going to start working on the upper body. And so I'm going to go ahead and pop this up, split the nose apart, fold this in, close it together, and then we'll rotate the landing gear up like that. We'll just leave it kind of hanging up there for now. We'll pop this out and this down. We'll rotate the head around, and then there's these little panels under here, and these are what tabbed into the wings and the bottom of the truck. We'll rotate them out like this most of the way, and we'll just leave this hanging right there like that for now. We'll open this section right here, and then we'll take the top of the jet and we'll pop it out like that and bring it to the back. We'll be doing something else with it later, but for now, just leave it like that. Next, you'll take these sections here, which will become the arms. You want to pull them up, rotate them to one side, which will allow us to rotate the wings to the back like that. Rotate them to the other side, just let us do the same for the other side. Then we'll turn it to the back. We'll push this to the back, and then what'll happen is this little runner right here will inject into his back right there, the same place that the gun's stored. So we just push it in like that, and you can see the little part comes in through there, which I think is very neat. Then we can rotate this to the back and this to the back, and we can tab them together, which will keep them out of the way. Then we'll bring the arms out, and we'll split them as far apart as they will go. Then we'll bring this section up, and there are these little tabs right here that the head section will tab into, like that. And then we will push this up until it tabs into place. And if you don't do it right, the arms will have some wiggle room here. You need to push it as far in as it will go. And if you do it right, then they'll be solid in there. Then you rotate the weights to one side, push this in, other side, push this in, and that will fill in his chest very nicely, or his abdomen very nicely. Then we'll come to the arms, so rotate them around like this, and like this, which will expose the front. You'll pull this down, pull out the fist, rotate this back up. Do the same to the other side. Push it up, bring it down, bend the elbow, get them all posed up. Get this all cleaned up, and this is Octane in his robot mode. And from that really nice looking truck, to that fantastic looking jet, excuse me, to this really, really nice looking robot mode, I am just blown away by this guy because every mode looks great. The transformation is not difficult to do, it just takes some time because there are lots of little parts you have to deal with, but they all work in very intuitive ways. There's nothing odd about this transformation beyond just how many steps there actually are. And he is just a fantastic looking figure, fantastic feeling figure, and he's just great. Now, some people have complained about his wings being just a little bit long, and I kind of get it because, like, this guy can't walk through a door. He will never be able to walk through a door in his life. But I don't mind because I really, really like the look of wings like this. I think they look really good. They make them look really big and impressive. In fact, I wouldn't mind them being a little bit longer if they were a little bit thicker. That's how much I like big wings, so it's not a problem for me. And one other thing I really like about this mode is that the tanker truck, one of my problems with this is I didn't have much color, but then the jet got a little bit more color for these, but now the robot mode just has so much color. It's a very nice distribution of color, and it really, really sells the transformation. And so while I would have preferred the tanker truck having more color on it, I do appreciate what that one flaw does enable in this mode, which is just, it's a very colorful and nice looking figure, and it sells the transformation. Now he does have this gun here, which can plug into his hand, and it plugs in very nicely considering he has posable hands, posable fingers. Now for posability, the head, and it's a really nice looking head sculpt, it's on the ball joint, rotate 360 degrees around, can wiggle around a little bit, look up and down a little bit, not much though. Arms rotate 360 above the elbow, except that they bump into the wings, but they can rotate 360 if you straighten the arm out. Goes in and out at the arm, bends 90 degrees at the elbow, rotates below the elbow and above the elbow. You can rotate the hand as well, and you can get some wibbly wobbly out of it. And if you really want to, you can use that joint to get some extra expressions if you're going to pose it so it hides a little bit. Moving down, he has a waist swivel, which is very unimpeded. And then his legs go forward, back. And there's a little bit of plastic in there that blocks it going back further, but that's a decent range. In and out, rotates above the knee, although the swivel is a little bit off for the transformation, but you won't notice that most of the time you're posing him. Has a 90-degree bend at the knee, and then a slight foot tilt, ankle tilt right there, but it doesn't carry the heel with him. And so he's a very nicely posable figure. He does everything that you expect him to do. Nothing spectacular, but he does pose very well. Now, the one problem I do have with him is that he doesn't really have the greatest heels. And so you'll usually have to end up tilting him forward a little bit to get him to stand. And this problem would have been fairly easy to fix if this section right here had been a little bit less prominent, and there had been a little tab on the back of the tail that would have brought his heel from effectively right here to back here, and that would have solved all of his stability problems, because otherwise he does have really nice feet. It's just that one slight malformation of the molding that prevents him from standing really well. But yeah, he is just a really nice figure. He's a bit expensive at about I think $130, but he is a really nice figure, really fun to play with, and all of his modes just look fantastic. Like, the only real problems I have with this guy are just little itty niggling things, and like, he even looks good compared to the show. Like, it's not perfect to the show model, but the show model is never perfect to itself. But I recognize this as Octane. Like, if I had never seen his toy before you showed him, he's like, oh, hey, that's Octane. Like, no one would have to tell me that this is Octane. It's just a really good figure, and I really recommend it to people. And that's saying something, because usually I'm not really into third-party stuff. Not that I have a problem with it. I don't have any, like, moral issues with it. I just don't care. But usually I think it's too expensive for what you get. But this time, I think what you get is definitely worth the price, because there's so much neat engineering here. So anyway, I've rambled on a little bit too long with this. But I hope you guys can appreciate just what a monument of engineering this guy is. And I really hope some of you guys will pick him up. Anyway, I review Power Rangers, Transformers, Digimon, Biclons, Tobots, lots of stuff like that. And if that sounds interesting, please subscribe, and thank you for watching. When I get to the X9 Shiger, I don't know how I'm going to have enough time to transform him, because that guy has so much stuff to him, to his transformations. But anyway, have a great day.